Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Birds of a Feather with Dustin, me, aka The Pursuer, and the infamous Alan Bondar, aka The Unraveler. And this is Squawk number whatever it is. I have no idea. 20 something, I think. Can you believe we've done that many
I know it's the 23rd Squawk plus the couple
roundtables?
whatever we're calling them, the flocks. Yeah,
Squawk.
yeah, infamous. We're more than famous.
Far more.
We're infamous.
We're infamous.
You remember that from Three Amigos, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're more than famous.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. That scene is
legends in our own mind.
I freaking love that scene, man. No, we're infamous. We're more than famous.
That's right.
So great, dude. Where are you at, man? You got no. Once again, I'm in my boring room, and you have this beautiful. I gotta start touring the world so I can start being outside like you, man. What are you doing now?
I'm at the pool with Grayson.
Hey, what's up, Grayson? That's pretty awesome.
It is, man. Yeah, I work from home, and I really only work an hour or two a day. So Grayson and I like to come out here, and he brings his Switch, and we throw the football and lay out and talk life, wax eloquent.
Well, must be nice to live in a warm climate. I miss those days.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
It's
man.
not warm, Alan. It's 104.
Oh, that's
so
all.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's considered like boiling here, and it's like
that is boiling.
62 is boiling here.
Yeah.
Like everybody in my office is like sweating, and I'm like, I have a fucking coat on.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not used to this, man. It's cold weather. This sucks. Anyway, okay. Before we go any further with today's show, I don't want to forget because the last couple of episodes I forgot. I just want to let everybody know because this is really cool. Sometimes I forget to promote our flocks, but we got a really freaking awesome flock coming up on Friday, May 30th. So we have 2 more regular episodes with Dustin and I, regular squawks, and then we got a 4-person flock coming out on the 30th, and that is with Tim Mills and JP Cote from Canada. And that show is going to be called The Forefathers because there's 4 fathers. And each of us are coming at things from a different perspective. And we're going to discuss God the Father in light of our 4 different perspectives as fathers. One of us is a dad who is still at home with the kids that is undivorced and has kids growing up. One is from a divorced family with kids at home. One is with non-divorced but kids that are out of the home. And then there's me who's both parents are divorced, but we are together and I'm sort of functioning in the stepdad role. So we got totally different versions of stepdads or dads rather. I mean, and we get to then look at what the Bible teaches about God the Father and just talk about what we think about him from our different roles and see if in fact he is a good father or a bad father. So that'll be a fun episode. I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So last week we talked about covenant creation, and that got some hits.
Sure did.
Picked a few people off, and that's fine. I enjoy that. No big deal. But definitely, I think one of the things that we definitely nailed in that episode is that we're not critiquing covenant creation. We're not saying covenant creation.
We endorse it.
Exactly. That's so. Covenant creationists can't come at us and say, hey, you guys are just trying to tell us we're wrong. No, we're not. We're saying you're right. That's the problem. You're absolutely right. So, yes, I mean, covenant creation is absolutely the correct view, in my opinion, if you follow the text completely. But you absolutely rob the text entirely of any proof of God because now you're left with science. And if you're going to roll with that, you're going to try to say, well, look, what we've done with covenant creation is we've allowed it to work side by side perfectly with science. Okay, great. You've just eliminated God from the whole equation. And once you do that, now you got to really figure out, okay, wait, if we did that, then is God really a thing or is this just a mythology and we've just interpreted the mythology right? You know,
I can't even tell you. I literally laughed out loud. So it wasn't a metaphorical LOL. I literally laughed out loud when that one guy said that, commented and said that you don't even understand covenant creationism. Oh my God, that made me laugh so hard. Thought if anyone understands the CC view, it's you. um, and it was funny because the problem was he doesn't understand the implication of that view on the text, and how you then are left presupposing something that you can only prove through science at that point, because now you don't have the biblical text to prove a physical cosmology, because you admit that it is metaphorical and covenant in its creation content.
Right. And what I've observed, and this is happening not just with covenant creationists, not just with preterists, but pretty much everybody along the line, starting with us when we were in our most fundamentalist dispensational years, there seems to be elements from your start as Christians that you never seem to let go of. It transports with you through these systems, even though they don't belong in the system, but they go with you. And you have a hard time realizing that you brought them with you, and that you never let go of things that don't belong in your system. So in the covenant creation model, for example, it's the whole, God still is the creator of the universe thing. That you brought that with you, because prior to being a covenant creationist, you interpreted these texts this way, and that's how you came to that conclusion.
It is a supposition.
Yeah. Now you've let go. Now you've completely obliterated that, but you're still bringing it with you and not realizing that you are. And you can't do that. You can't just bring a former view's presupposition into your current view and say it's the same thing. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a complete mess, man. Like, dude, I just wow. Just looking back, it's amazing how many steps I took to try to fix the problem of the text and just try to resolve it. And you get to a point where I think for me, preterism and covenant creationism, and it's almost like covenant creationism is the final term that encapsulates preterism consistently.
It is.
It's the best way I can say it, because when you say preterism, a lot of people don't incorporate covenant, or even full preterism. They don't incorporate it, but so covenant creation is kind of the view that summarizes all of it. How I would say is the most consistent. But yeah, I think once you get to that point and you realize that the whole entire text is covenantal, and there was types and shadows, and that's all fine and good, and supposedly this group of people had to go through all that torture and horrible things of sacrifices and Passovers and deaths of Egypt, and just like all the horrible floods and whatever, all the horrible stuff, the Jericho stories, all this stuff just for the purpose of picturing what we are going to have in the new covenant, right? And then you get to the new covenant and you embrace that fully as a Christian, because you finally realize it's the only thing that makes sense of the text. And you get there, and one day you're scratching your head and you're saying, what exactly do I have here? Everything all the benefits I supposedly have are entirely faith-based. What exactly do I have that I'm not waiting for to get when I die and go to heaven? Everything's just some promise still. Supposedly it's fulfilled, right? That's the preterist landscape. It's all fulfilled now. So we have all of the promises now. And yet it still seems like it's nothing more than a promise of what we're going to get when we die, because, it's all faith-based now. You can't really understand. You just have to believe you have it. One day when you die, you'll really see it. That's when it all fell apart for me. It just stopped making any sense, because I just got to a point where I was just like, I literally have nothing going for me. There's nothing here. I have to wait until I die to experience it. That's convenient. It's the same thing as going the other way. I might as well just say, well, you might as well wait to die and see if you're wrong. Nobody's going to know anyway when they're dying. So if this is all we have, and we're basing it on just the faith, I don't know. I don't know if you know where I'm going with that, but I just got to a point where it just didn't make any sense anymore.
Well, yeah. The whole full preterism and covenant creationism, which a lot of people call covenant eschatology, that entire view forces us to look at every single term and definition. That's what it does. Because once you open the door to looking at Genesis 1 through 3 as a covenant creation, and animals become one thing, people become types and shadows, that things represent other things. Once that door opens and that becomes the foundation, you have to be consistent with it all the way through, which we tried. And I believe that the people who hold to that view, Jeff and them, I think they still try and be consistent, although I think they know there's tons and tons of problems with it too. And when you carry that over into the New Testament, it becomes very problematic. And you're forced again to look at terms and definitions, and everything comes under the microscope. It has to be under the microscope, and it has to be scrutinized. Well, then what happens is everything begins to unravel at that point. At least it did for me. It really begins to unravel, and some of the presuppositions that don't work in that view, a physical cosmology being one of them, there's no explanation for that other than to presuppose that God did it. Some of the presuppositions there's no scriptural answers for anymore. And so you're left kind of floundering and just making up your own stuff at that point. And it just becomes very, very, very messy. And I'll tell you, for me, one of the things it did was it made me reevaluate some of the things that I had put up on the shelf. Because, in Christianity, we have a lot of things we put on the shelf that we don't talk about, we don't address, we don't want to, and everyone knows that, but no one talks about it because it's up on that shelf. Well, it made me pull a lot of those things down off the shelf, and begin to re-examine them. And we've talked about some of them. One of the big ones for me is the idea that people will attribute positive events in their life to God. I got a new car. My business is going well. I got a raise, whatever. And yet there are children in cancer and leukemia wards dying torturous, slow, painful deaths. Their kids being human trafficked, injected with drugs, just mauled by multiple men in an hour. All of those things are happening, and God doesn't do anything about that, but he'll bless someone with a raise.
Funny you say that. I was just thinking today, I was listening to an old DC Talk song as I was delivering mail today. It popped on my shuffle. And I was like, oh, this is fun throwbacks. I was listening to it. It's the song Free at Last.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that song. And there's a spot in the middle of the song where they have the quote of Martin Luther King saying, free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last, right? I almost slammed on the brake and had to pull over because I was like, holy shit. Like, in that very moment, for the first time, it occurred to me, I was like, that dude was giving credit to God for something that he worked his ass off to help accomplish. But an even more immediate thought came to me was, thank God Almighty. Well, if God Almighty was in charge, why the fuck didn't he do it sooner? Like, why did he wait? Do you have to do all the work and do all the painful suffering, and all of you blacks have to go through all that to get free? God could have done it long. He could have made it so that never even was an issue.
That's the key. Like, why was it ever an issue to begin with? And if he did it, if he handled the situation, why are there vestiges of it still remaining?
Right. Like, why are we thanking God for something he never actually stopped to begin with? Like, he should have done it to the beginning. Like, why are we thanking God for something that he could have stopped at the beginning? Like, what? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I just was like blown away today as it hit me. I was like, wow, that should never have been an issue, and it should still not be an issue.
Yeah.
Where's God, man? Come on. It's like he's slower than we are at moving at stuff. Like like apparently he takes a lot longer to realize things are a problem than we do.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, it's just mind blowing. So yeah, so I mean, so you have all those issues, and that, those are the issues with covenant creation. They take away, the scriptural texts that talk about God creating the material universe, and it brings us to all the problems of the new covenant and how there's no resolution there. It's all just faith-based benefits, and you realize that in this new covenant, God, who's supposed to has resolved everything, doesn't do anything unless we step up and do all the work, and then after we do all the work, we praise God for it and say, thank God Almighty, which, is like, what are we thanking him for? Because if we're doing all the work and he's the one to thank, why didn't he do it to begin with? So we got all these problems, and then you got, so I'm still in this constant online forum debate with Don Preston, where he consistently thinks that he can prove the existence of God through using the intelligent design argument from apologetics. And we keep going back and forth. And it's like every time we start this, we cycle back to the same place. He goes back to telling me, well, you have to prove to me that there's a better option. And I'm like, Don, I don't have to prove to you there's a better option. You're the one who made the claim definitively that God exists, and you can prove him that he does through intelligent design. Can you just prove it instead of telling me to prove that you're wrong? I'm like, I don't have to prove that. Like, I don't need to know what the answer is. I'm not making a claim. I'm responding to your claim that you say you can prove definitively that intelligent design proves God exists. And I'm like, I've even granted you that there's an intelligent designer for the sake of argument. And I'm like, can you just roll with that and just take that and prove to me that it's Yahweh? Well, DNA and this and DNA that, and you have to give me an answer, and you're just confiscating, and you won't give me an. I'm like, oh my God, dude, how many times do we go down this path? I don't know what else to do, dude. Like it's like talking to a wall. It's like impossible to get him to realize that the burden of proof lies on him. I'm telling you, dude, if he was on my side in any other debate, he would absolutely hold the feet to the fire of his opponent.
Yep.
And say, we came here to debate your affirmative, and you need to prove it, not tell me I need to prove something else. And that's what he keeps doing to me. You have to prove something else in order for me to be right. Like, just prove your affirmative, bro. Like, I don't know what else to do. I'm frustrated.
Well, you're glutton for punishment, man. Because he's not ever going to do it. He knows, and I know he knows. I mean, it's like the guy who wrote that apologetic against an atheist that was ridiculous. Now apparently has a second one, a better one. I guess the first one was the penultimate, and and this is the ultimate apologetic that we're going to read next. I don't know why he led with the weaker one. Why didn't he give us the best one to begin with?
I don't know. That was weird.
It's that same thing. We're going to get that next one and read it and go, okay, there will be absolutely no proof. It will just be a lot of more presupposition and assumptions and erred thinking. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's just like my frustration in talking with Don is that he's a prolific debater. He knows what it means to carry the burden of proof. Like, he debates these people all the time and utterly destroys them in debates because he holds their feet to the fire and makes them prove the point.
Well, but you and I have been involved with a lot of his debates, and you're exactly right. He begins with stating the affirmative.
Or if he takes the negative, he won't let the other person off the hook.
Correct. He forces that issue.
Right.
But on this one thing, he's not holding himself to that same standard, and we both know why. Yeah. And what's funny is, I love that because I've seen you tell him, I don't know how many times, I will grant you intelligent design. Let's just assume that, okay? It does not mean this.
Right.
And that's the point.
Correct. Yeah. I imagine if I made him prove intelligent design, we'd be nowhere, because you really can't. That's a terrible argument to begin with. But I mean, I've granted it to him for the sake of discussion. And what he keeps doing is switching the argument to presuppositionalism.
Yeah. And
I don't know how many times I tried to explain to him, like, Don, you told me that you're going to prove intelligent design, but all you keep arguing is presuppositionalism. Like, pick one, dude. If you're going to pick presup, then I'm not going to grant you intelligent design. I'm going to make your job harder. But if you're going to pick intelligent design, fine, I'll grant it to you. But then you got to prove your point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can't prove it's wrong. So therefore, no, that not therefore. It could be 1,500 other options. Like, bro, you keep coming back to this. And I just, you're right. I must be a glutton for punishment because I'm just like,
yeah, you are.
It's just, I don't know what I'm trying really hard to get him to just admit, you're right. I can't prove it. I just believe it. That's all I want. That's all I want. And he's telling me my definition of faith is wrong. I'm like, what? My definition of faith is the definition of faith. That's exactly what the Bible teaches. Like, there's no empirical data for it whatsoever. You just choose to believe it. You just accept it on faith.
The author of Hebrews says it very, very clearly.
That is your evidence. That's it. That's your assurance.
Things unseen.
Faith. Yeah, that's it. And but he's telling me now, my definition of faith, because there is empirical data and there is proof. No, there isn't, dude. That's the whole point.
Nope, there is not.
If there was, then every scientist on the planet would be Christians and it wouldn't require faith. Oh my goodness, dude. I don't like. I'm getting close to just saying, dude, we're done, because I don't know what else to do to get this conversation to move forward.
Yeah, like, you're an unbelievably patient man. That's why I don't even get involved in the stuff online. You know, I don't know, man. I just don't have any desire for it because I spent so long in that world of debating and arguing with people online, and it goes nowhere. It really doesn't, man. Face to face like this or in person, that goes somewhere because people don't act the same way.
That is true. William and I are a classic example of that.
Yeah, they're forced to look you in the eye and not be so brave. You know, especially face to face, man. I've never had someone meet me face to face that they act like they do online.
No, I agree.
So,
no, you're absolutely right. Although there might be one exception that I've ever seen. That's Rick Welch. He's nice online and he's nice in person.
Well, yeah, but I mean someone who's not nice, who
right,
is not nice. That never happens. I mean,
right.
So, I don't get involved in that stuff, man, because it's.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the online. I mean, the face to face, which is what I keep asking Don to do. Like that. That's the only reason I've hung in with him, is because we're supposed to do a public debate, and instead of waiting for the public debate, he keeps trying to draw me into this thing online, and I'm like, dude, can we just do the public debate? I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know that it's going to go any further in a public forum either, because he's going to do the same thing. He's going to tell me that I have to prove that there's a better option, and I'm like, that doesn't prove your option. Like, I don't know why people like, and I see this a lot from Christians. They just, maybe I'm an idiot, but I can't seem to get them to grasp that you do not get to say your choice or your opinion is correct because I don't have a better one.
Yeah.
That is not, like, it is not, if you're wrong, I'm right. That is not the way this works.
Well, and the other thing is assuming or believing that your options, which you would say there are a few other options, assuming that your options are not good would also need to be proven. Why aren't they good?
Well, that's true. Why? Right. Exactly. Why aren't they good? Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You have to go down that path. So you almost open up a can of worms. So all I'm asking you to do is, prove your affirmative. And instead, you're opening up a whole can of worms and forcing me to say things. And then now you got to go down the path and prove why mine are wrong, on top of the fact that now you still, after doing that, still have to prove that you're right, even if you prove mine are wrong. And that's why I keep telling Don, I'm like, Don, you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. Like, even if I waste my time giving you all of the reasons why I think I'm right, that isn't going to change the fact that at the end of the day, even if you prove all of those things wrong, it doesn't still make yours right.
Yep.
You still have to prove your affirmative.
Yep.
And that's why I'm like, and I've told him so many times, I'm like, Don, what does it matter? It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. I'm not making the claim. I'm asking you to prove your claim. It's just, anyway.
He knows.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. I don't know. He must. It's just absolutely crazy. But now, I mean, like I said, I do much prefer, like you, the face to face. I've really enjoyed that. Like William and I have become decent friends, man. I really like this guy. Like every time, even now when we talk online, it just seems that we're antagonists. But then we get on face to face, and it's like we're best friends. It's crazy. But we have good intellectual conversations, and it's really nice. My newest one now, we've had one with Rick Welch. So him and I are doing a series now, and this is going to be fun because it's different than William. William has a totally different perspective. Like with William and I, we're at a point now in our discussions. I don't know if you've been watching, but we're at a point now in our discussions where he's kind of defining God not in the way traditional Christianity does. He is like, God is a non-necessary. He's not an entity anymore. He's like a not a personal being. He just kind of exists almost like energy, but he's got to be God, but he's not energy because we can't, God forbid, we just go with energy. He's got to be God. So he's in every way he's defining God. It's energy. I swear to God, it's energy. Like,
Dude, it's all unraveling.
Literally, he's just describing energy, but now he's like, so that's where we are. You can't know everything for certain. So God is not like that, but he still loves you. I don't know. It's weird. Like we spent pretty much an hour and 20 minutes of our time me trying to steel man him, and every time I would say something, it would nope. Well, it's more like this. Oh my God! And say it again. Well, no, it's more like that. Well, so God is personal. Well, no, he's not really personal. Okay, so he's not really personal. Well, yeah, he is. So he is and he's not, but he also, all things come from him, but he has no beginning. Well, but he doesn't need to have a beginning because I was just like, oh my God, like everywhere I tried to go, trying to genuinely steelman him, it was like trying to catch a fish, man. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The last 3 minutes of the show, I was like, so we were supposed to steelman each other in this show, but we got 3 minutes left. We're not going to go very far. Just do your best for me for the next 3 minutes, and then if we need to, we'll pick up in the next episode. Bro, he nailed me down in 30 seconds. 100% steelmanned me because I have been clear, concise, and there was no finagling, no twisting, and I was like, oh, well, that's precisely exactly what I'm saying. He 100%. So I was just like, why can't he just be clear like that? Like, why can't God be as clear as not God? It's just weird, dude.
Because it's not a real thing. That's why.
That's exactly right. Because a spirit can't be defined, and that's the whole point.
Yep. Philosophical constructs are never definitive.
Exactly. And that, my friend, is exactly why William and I are going to be floundering forever until maybe he admits something.
Oh, he will. He'll eventually come around. I mean, he's a smart guy. And I think eventually he'll find the freedom to let go of his unnecessary constructs.
I hope so. So now the next one is Rick, because Rick is
that dude's on his way.
I love that dude. He is.
He is a super cool dude. He's already on his way out.
But I'm here to tell you, man, he is holding on tight.
I did too.
He's like a lifeline, bro. He just will not let go, and he is convinced because his thing is experience.
I know.
But I believe God still must be real because he's done these things in my life. So that's where our show is going, and it's going to be fun. And I'm glad Rick and I are friends because it could get tense otherwise. But he's a cool guy, so it should be good. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how anybody can read my book from front to back and come out of it still thinking the same way they do. It's just weird to me, dude. But I don't know. It's just bizarre because I cover everything, dude. Everything. It's just how do you still hold on to one? And again, you come out on the other side and you got a Rick saying, "Whoa, you destroyed all the apologetic arguments." Okay.
Yes, I did.
But then you got a
so then why do you still cling to it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's bizarre, but c'est la vie. That's where we are, and I guess I have a hero complex in addition to being a glutton for punishment because I just whatever it is that whatever part of the world's philosophy I'm in at the moment, I feel the need to help people see it. And I guess that's my flaw, maybe, because if I've been wrong every time beforehand, who knows? I'm not wrong now. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, so, no, it's good. It's not bad.
I'm doing the best I can with the information I have, and I remember that McLaren guy that you were really, really irritated with him, I think, right? But, even though he was coming at us pretty harsh, I mean, he does make a good point. I've changed my mind so many times, and I've tried to convince people of my truth every single time. It's like, what makes me right this time? That's a very interesting question. It's a difficult one, because how do I know? I don't. It's like this is where I am, and it makes the most sense now, today. I know I'll never go back. Nope. That I know. So I know that all of that was wrong. Do I know that all this is right? No, not necessarily, but I know it's more right than that was.
Yep.
So I guess that's my only justification, is I'm just trying to help people get away from that. And then maybe, like you and I are trying to do finally, maybe for the first time in our lives, is journey together to what's next, rather than holding on to something just for the sake of holding on to it.
Yep.
Maybe that's the secret. So
yep.
Anyway, this was a good time, dude. I appreciate you giving me some time, because I know you're out with your son. So
yeah, man,
a great show. I appreciate talking, dude. All right, so we will see you all next week with Squawk number 24, I think it is.
24.
With whatever the hell Dustin and I decide to talk about. And then the week after, the Forefathers. All right, y'all. Peace. See you next week.